Hey guys, Viggoman here and welcome back to another episode from Osterham. I know it's been a while, but if you watched my previous video, you'd know that I was on vacation for a little while. But now I'm back, ready to do some more building with you, and today I have a lot of stuff to offer. The first thing we're building is a small castle in the harbour itself, and it's technically used as a prison at the moment, but it's going to be used as a way of defending the harbour if there's ever a need for that. But of course this is not the castle of the lord, it's more of a fort, I guess, for fortifying and protecting the harbour. But when the kingdom is in peace, it's used as a jail. The second thing we're building today is a massive lighthouse. This will be used to safely guide all of the sailors and fishermen and everyone safely into the harbour. I'm also building a new ship here. A lot of people were not very happy with the medievalness of the previous big ship we built, so today I'm trying to do more of an authentic medieval trading ship. Apart from that, we are building a couple of warehouses to store fishing gear, but also all sort of crates and things that's being exported or imported to the harbor. And then of course a couple of houses for people living here, doing fishing stuff and some professions, but also an inn for sailors. Overall, I think the additions for the harbor today really made the harbor stand out. I mean, one of my favorite parts of the city so far. Just look at this beauty here. Welcome to the tour part where we're going to take a look at everything that we built during the time lapses. And as you can see, the harbor is really filling out now. It feels complete in a way, and it really just make you feel like you're in a medieval city. At least I think so. Let me know down below what you think of the harbor so far. It's not completely done. As you can see, there's a little bit of stuff over here alongside there. I need to figure out what to do there. Don't want to have too much like construction there because of the walls, kind of weakening the defensiveness if we have too much stuff there. But I need to figure that out for a future episode. But for today's episode, we're going to be focusing on like the edges where we have the prison here, and then we have the lighthouse and all these houses here, so that's going to be super fun. Before we continue the tour part, I just want to let you know that in the next video I will be starting to build the castle over here, which is going to be the big castle of Osterham. It's going to look awesome, and I have a couple of ideas for how to make the videos entertaining and educational, but also kind of spread it out because it's going to be a big project to build the entire castle here. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and maybe even push the notification bell so you'll know when this video here comes out. Now let's get back to the tour, and we'll start with the prison here, or the fort of the harbor. It's built on this rock here on the edge, and it's very strategically placed, I think, as you kind of have a full view over the harbor, but also the surrounding lands, like the bay here, the bay of Gelia. And from here we can defend everything mostly, but also it's a great way of keeping a prison because it's cliffs and it's out in the water, so it's really hard to really escape. So yeah, that's really cool. It has 4 towers. It's not a square, it's more of a weird shape, but I like that because it's somewhat straight lines, but the lines aren't like on a perfect angle to each other, and I think it really works, make it looks quite unique in a way. It has a big gatehouse here, going for a very similar style to the gatehouses of the city walls, because of course it's the same city, it's the same architectural style somehow, and yeah, trying to go for a quite similar style to that, and I think it's really cool. I love the gradient we have on the sides as well, kind of almost merging into the rock it sits on, and then kind of have a lot of moss, of course, because it's quite harsh here, and then fading into some sort of plaster. Looks quite cool. And now let's go through the gate here and check out the interior. We come in here, this small like courtyard in the middle here, and the idea is that alongside these 2 walls we have the prison cells, and we have 2 levels of them, so one at ground level and one up here at like this small balcony, I guess, the 2nd floor. From here we also have access to the gatehouse, which is quite cool. You can see the entire mechanism of the portcullis here from the back, which is of course controlled from the inside. We're going to check that out. We have another building for the people living here, so the people that are running the prison, but also like guards, just in case you'd have to defend it somehow. So there's going to be, those are in there, and there's a kitchen and storage and whatnot. We also have this room here in the back. This is where the commander sits, so He has a small office there and yeah, all that sort of stuff. So let's quickly check out a couple of cells. They're not too fancy, but a couple of them are open at the moment. Yeah, this one here is open, and it's just some hay on the ground, a plate, and yeah, a bucket of maybe water, or maybe a place to relieve yourself somehow. I don't know. So yeah, that's one on the ground floor, and up here it's quite similar. And all of them are like filled in, but yeah, they're closed because we don't want our prisoners to escape. Alright, from here we can go into the kitchen, which is down here. It's nothing too big, but it works. There's a big oven here to prepare food for both the guards, but also the prisoners, and a small place here to prepare the food. Over here we have a small pantry, just next to the kitchen. We have some meat and vegetables and everything being stored nice and cool in here. And around here I think this is just another storage area for other things, like yeah, we have probably some wine or beer here and everything else, I guess. Then there's a staircase here which leads up to the second floor. This is the balcony where yeah, you can enter the prison cells, but also you can come in here. We have the small feast hall for the guards. Just like that, they have a fireplace, and in here we have yeah, the barracks, or where they sleep. So we have a couple of bunk beds here for the guards on duty at the moment. So yeah, quite cool. They have windows looking out at the courtyard, and same goes for here, so they can have control over all over the place most of the time. And of course there's no window facing outwards because that would be a weakness in the design. And then in here we have some more storage, and this is inside one of the towers up above. Let's go back out. I think we'll check out the gatehouse next. So we run around here, go up, and then we have a staircase wrapping around like that, and you get up to some of the arrow slits, which look straight out at the harbor here, defending the gate, and some big wheels here to pull up the portcullis like that. I like this quite a lot. And yeah, another arrow slit on this side. I think there's supposed to be a ladder here. No, I think there's another way to get up on top. Let's see if I can remember. It's been a while, as you know. I've been on vacation, so I forgot a little bit about my own build here. Over here we get to another part. Let's see if this takes us up to the top part of the gatehouse. You come in here. It's a hallway. It looks a little bit more fancy because this is a kind of entrance to the commander's office. So we go around the staircase here, and we get to his office. This is where the commander sits and plans the day and make sure everything goes as planned. Quite cool. And we can continue up here, and we'll get on top of another of the towers here, where we have arrow slits looking out like that, defending all over the fort here. And you can get on top of the battlements up here. And then if we go down through here, we get on top of this little area here where we have the flag of Osterham, and then, yes, as I expected, entrance to the top of the gatehouse here, where we have more arrow slits. We have some places for the guards to rest while not being fighting off intruders. And then you get up on top of the walls, and these walls wraps all around the fort. So you come in here again, tower, and then you can get on top of it like that. And this just wraps all around the fort here, which makes it really well defended, I think, and it looks really cool as well. So let me know down below what you think of the fort of the harbor. Moving on, let's check out the lighthouse here, and as you can see, the lighthouse has some of the same gradient as the prison here, trying to keep the theme going in a way. And then we have this red ribbon going around it, which looks really cool. I also did something I really don't do, but we did it here, is to use all the different sort of slabs just to make the entire, I guess, leaningness, or I don't know what to call it, like it's cone shape, to make it as smooth as possible at least. So just using all the different sort of slabs, as you can see, it's looking kind of cool, but it was such a tedious task to do to get that right. But it looks cool, and I love the way the gradient and like the the coniness, is that a word? I don't know. It works together and it looks really cool. Up above we have a big fire which lights out all over the place, and a cool like dome on top. I like this detail bit in the thing here. It's something we use a lot for the bigger, more wealthy buildings. As you can see, we use like this copper or brass detailing on the tops. So just kind of, yeah, selling this as more of an important building to the city. So that's cool. Let's check out the interior, shall we? And next to it, it's actually a little building as well for the lighthouse keeper. So the bottom floor is just a big storage area, mostly for firewood around here, which you need a lot of. And then in here we have different, maybe like oils for lighting the flame, everything else. So a little storage at the ground floor here. And then around here there's a pulley to bring up the firewood to the top. Look at that. Alright, let's check out the second floor and then get into the lighthouse itself. So we go around this little wonky staircase here, built on an angle, so it's a little weird, but it works. And you come into this area here, where the lighthouse keeper would be staying. He has a small office, taking notes, which I think is important. A fireplace and a small place to sit here. Maybe even have some friends over, I guess. I'm not thinking this would be the most hectical of jobs. I think you'd have a lot of spare time, as long as the fire is burning. But yeah, and then from here there's a staircase, and this is just like a very long staircase, just wrapping around and around and around all the way till we get to the top, just like this. And then yeah, come up to the top here, a couple of windows to bring some light in, and then you get out on this small balcony which wraps around. Pretty nice view from here actually. And then around here, yeah, there we have a ladder going up to the top where you would be lighting the fire or maintaining the fire. So it's quite cool. I really like the lighthouse, and I like the way it changed the skyline of the city. It breaks up like the flat area of the harbor here. It's quite all the same height. So having that just poking through really breaks the skyline, and especially when the castle on the opposite side, I think it really frames the rest of the harbor. Now let's move over to the trading ship we built here. It's being unloaded, and as you can see, it's coming from somewhere we have been recently. Can you tell from the flag up there? It's coming from Somerset, bringing some awesome red wine here in these barrels, looking pretty cool. As I mentioned, a lot of people weren't really happy with the way this ship here turned out, as like, I guess the authenticity of it. I think a lot of people liked the way it looked, but it's not really medieval, and I get what you say, it's probably more Renaissance, probably, yeah, but I like it, so I'm keeping it here. But this building here, or this ship here, I guess, is probably more authentic for being medieval. I'm no like ship expert, and I think a lot of the information is really hard to separate into distinct eras, at least for what I've seen. It's been hard to really nail down exactly what a medieval ship is, because googling images will give you all sorts of images, and you'll see fantasy movies where it's all weird and stuff. So this is my interpretation of what a typical smaller medieval trading ship would look like. And if there's anyone there who's an expert on this, let me know how well this reflects how it was. But basically very simple, nothing too fancy. Yeah, we have two masts here on it, and there's a, what do you call this, sail in the back as well. Here we have, so this is probably where I've taken the most liberties. So in the deck in the back here we have actually a window, like a skylight, bringing some light down, and also there's this trap door which opens up and kind of brings you down to the deck below here, and this is where the crew would be sleeping and stuff. But also you can access this area from these massive trapdoors in the deck in front here, where we have everything being stored. But yeah, it's a cool ship. I really like it. I love this crane here as well, the mechanical bits. It's a new design for me, but it really works, especially for lower boats, because you don't really need to lift up as far. And overall, I think the shape of the ship is cool, and the proportions seems about right. But anyway, let me know if this is somehow medieval, if you have any more expertise on this than I do. And then let's just do a quick look at the warehouses built alongside here. And nothing too fancy, but yeah, storing all sorts of stuff, fishing gear, nets, whatever. But also want to show you this, yeah, wave breaker, or this like outer wall here. This is built to kind of contain the harbor itself, and as you can see, it's mossy, overgrown, and the weather here is probably pretty harsh. So this is built here just to kind of maintain the harbor structure in a way. And I really like the way it's built, like on a 45-degree angle, leaning in. It's more strongly built that way, so that's quite cool. Moving on, let's check out the houses that we built today. On the right side here, or actually in the middle of your screen right now, we have an inn for the sailors coming by. Next to that, we actually have a new type of building. I haven't done this anywhere in the city so far, and this is a honey house. Gelia is big and flat, and there's a lot of flowers and things, so I imagine there's going to be a lot of bees around here. So honey might be a big export, or like a thing they work on. So this guy here sells honey, and he stores it. So probably people from all over the kingdom here comes in, docks here, and they bring the honey up to the storage up here. But he also like make treats of it, so like using the honey to make things he can sell, like glazed apples, crystallized honey, whatever. So it's kind of a selling raw honey, but also honey product. And next to that, we have a small apartment building, and this it contains, I think it's 5 or 4 smaller apartments for people working on the ships around here. Now let's check out the tavern here. This is the biggest building. I love the color palette here. It's something I've done quite a few times already. And it has a unique shape, and I like this extension to the back here, where we have some thatched roof instead of the roof tiles. And one thing you'll notice is that all these houses don't have like a full facade at the back. We have this, yeah, the roof is kind of facing outwards as well. I'm not really sure, like a gable or whatever it's called, I don't know. And that is because of the weather here. It's the winds is going to be probably very strong coming towards the houses from this angle. So having a big old facade like we have on the other side, like this, would probably catch a lot of wind and tear the house faster than you'd want it to. So that thing, and a small thing I really like with these houses here. Also like, yeah, the backyards. We're gonna get into more detail. Let's check out the inn first. All right. So the entrance is here. You come in. It's pretty cozy. There's a small desk here, a reception area, and you come around and you get into like the tavern, or yeah, there's a big fireplace, some sitting areas, and it's quite cozy in here. From here, it wraps around, takes you upstairs. There's more sitting areas, and from here you can enter all the different rooms. So here we have one of the master rooms, more suites I guess, one of the bigger beds and bigger rooms in general. And then in here we have smaller rooms you could rent, like that. Very simple, but it works. Yeah, and a small sitting area here as well. But from here, you can actually enter the innkeeper's house as well. Whoops. There we go. So this takes you up to the second floor of the innkeeper's house, which goes around here. And it has like a small area, like a kitchen and an extra bed here. And this leads out to the back, which is in there, this extension part. Alright, let's go back through here. Whoops. Close the door. And go up to the second floor. Yeah, this is his beds, by the way. And from here you can go around. There's another staircase taking you up to the third floor, and more sitting areas. And then we have a couple of bedrooms here, another bedroom over here, like that, and a final. No, this is actually not a bedroom. This is a storage area, and this also leads up to the attic up here. So that is the Sailor's Inn. Now let's check out this new honey shop. It's a cool building. On the front we have, of course, the pulley system to bring all the honey up. And yeah, it's looking pretty fancy for being in the Harbour district. So you come in here, we have the shop. As you can see, there's like all sorts of small jars of honey and maybe like treats and everything. Here's a big barrel of fresh honey as well. Yeah, a small shop. In the back here, he has a little storage area for all the honey product he makes. Big store here, and then all the way at the back we have the kitchen. And if you remember correctly, we usually have that in the back section of every house at the first floor. So it's one of like the architectural styles or design styles we have of Osterham, which is cool. This leads to the back here. Whoops. Where we have a small area for growing some herbs and vegetables for his own use. But in the back we actually have where he produces the treats or the honey products. He has a small kiln here to like boil the honey down to some more thicker crystallized thing, and also like we have sugar or some kind of sort of flour. I don't know, and kind of just making honey treats in the back here in this small shed. Oops, I'm trapped. Oh, there we go. Another thing I just want to show you is this building here as well. Kind of almost flows into the gradient of this, and it's very mossy, overgrown, because of the weather here. Around here we can go up, and we have the dining room here in the back with a nice fireplace and everything. And then we have bedrooms. So here's a bedroom for the kids, like that. And then around here we have the master bedroom for the parents, like that. Some storage, and then access to the attic where we have where we store all the honey. So yeah, big storage area on the top here. And finally we have the apartment building here, where all the people living here don't have their own like shop, but they just work on boats for either sailing or fishing, and bring their products somewhere else to sell. They have a small balcony, like almost like a temporary balcony built into the hillside here. I'm guessing that in case of war, this would probably be torn down, because it allows easier access to the castle walls. I don't know. So it's not like built in stone, it's just like a simple wooden structure, and they get to have some privacy up here for themselves, but also they can store stuff below it. In the back we have a shared garden for all the apartments. There's all sorts of farming going on, a small tub to wash yourself up, and some sitting areas. And honestly, it's quite a peaceful place in the back here, like ocean view and away from everything else. So it's not that bad. Let's check out the inside. You come in here, we have a shared kitchen for all of the houses here, or by that I mean that we have a shared oven, a big oven for the entire complex here. And a small sitting area. They could sit here and eat dinner together if they want to, but most of the apartments have a small area to sit and eat upstairs as well. Straight in here we get to the first apartment. There's a double bed and a small crib for a baby. A small sitting area, and as you can see, it's nothing big. Some storage and whatnot, and this goes out to the backyard here, like that. So it's not the most private apartment, because a lot of people would probably be walking through here if they want to get to the backyard, but that's how it is when you live in poorer medieval times. Upstairs we have an apartment on either side, so you come in here, some beds and bunk beds and everything, and a door taking you out to this small private backyard or whatever you want to call it. And same goes for here. Beds and storage and everything, small sitting area, and access to his private area, like that. Then upstairs we have another small apartment over here, like that. And then some storage shared storage for the entire apartment complex. And that, my friends, is everything that I managed to get done for this episode, and honestly it was a lot, probably more than I usually do for these videos, but I'm very happy with it. I really like the way it turned out and the way it completed the harbor in a sense. Of course, I will have to go back and do the small bits that are missing and go back and add some more details, but I really just want to get this video here out. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed. If so, make sure to smack that like button, and if you haven't done it already, make sure to subscribe. It's been Viggoman, and I'm out.